minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Secretary Becerra, for coming to the committee. And it's good to see you again, and I appreciate you coming into my district and all the great things that you're doing. Thank you for your leadership. I have to agree with Mr. Courtney, who talked about the $35, and I agree that certainly you shouldn't have to be old, as I am, or some of the others, to get that benefit. But because we have young children who also have diabetes and so forth. But anyway, thank you for doing that. There have been a series of reports, and I think one was referred to earlier, in terms of and I will just say there was a video that was leaked, and as a result of talking about the children and migrant children and processing them. And I want to just give you an opportunity to speak to that. But you have also, HHS, announced some initiatives to address some of those problems. And if you could just speak to a couple of those, I'd appreciate that.
Congresswoman, thank you very much. And I look forward to a visit again when it's accommodating for you. Our foremost priority is the health and safety of these children while they are temporarily in our custody. We have then an obligation to find a more appropriate setting for them while they're awaiting their immigration proceedings to conclude. And so rather than stay in a federal congregate care setting with a lot of other kids where they're not getting that more individualized care, we seek to find sponsors who will protect them, who will take care of them. Typically that means a parent or a very close relative for most of these children. And so we go through the process of providing them while they are temporarily in our custody with health care, medical checks, mental health services, in some cases educational services. We try to provide everything that a licensed care facility for someone, for example, who's a foster youth might get. We do it temporarily. Typically a child will stay with us from 3 weeks to 4 or 5 weeks. Some stay longer, some stay less. And what we try to do is make sure we work efficiently, because some of these kids have come with a lot of trauma. And so it's all the medical experts, all the child welfare experts will tell you, all the migrant children advocates will tell you, it's best to try to get that child with someone that child knows and loves and is a close family relative. That's our goal. It's tough because in 2021 we had large numbers of these kids. Today it's much more manageable, but we continue to try to make improvements as we go along.
Thank you. So let me ask you a question about the whistleblowers issue, and that's been in the news a lot, and retaliation against whistleblowers. There was an article in the New York Times that you were aware that staff in the agency were raising concerns about the safety of unaccompanied migrant children who are being placed with unrelated adults. And to the best of your knowledge, did the department demote, transfer, or terminate staff because they raised concerns about the safety of children in the care of the Office of Refugee Resettlement?
Absolutely not. OR did not demote anyone because they raised concerns. In fact, we encourage our staff, our Office of Refugee Resettlement staff, to report, and we urge the contractors that we work with to provide care to report. In fact, they are obligated to report any instance of abuse of a child.
Okay, let me ask you, I've been very involved with the issue around domestic violence, and I know that you have been concerned about this issue as well. So could you just speak to the importance of reauthorization and how delaying the reauthorization of the, when the House passed the Family Violence Prevention and Services Improvement Act, can you speak to how delaying the reauthorization would hinder the efforts to prevent intimate partner violence and support of victims?
Congressman, first let me just say I hope you and your colleagues have success in getting us to reauthorize the Family Violence Protection and Services Act, because it is indispensable. We know, for example, that during COVID, when people were in their homes and afraid to come out, that there was a rise of domestic violence. We know that Americans are being injured, in some cases killed, because we're not there to provide the services, whether it is the victim who needs the services or the perpetrator who might need the services. And so we're hopeful that we can continue to make the investments that let us reach people before the violence occurs. Because most of the time, as you know, it's violence between people who know each other very well.
Right, proactivity is what we need. Thank you very much, Mr. Secretary, Madam Chair.